We are part of the Fired Up Sports Network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
Swing of the miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
Well, good Friday evening. Talking all things birds.
The Phillies are getting smoked.
It's actually 4-2. Trey Turner just hit a home run.
Yay! All right, there we
We
go.
back.
We're back. Taiwan Walker still sucks.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
going on?
listen,
Philly?
listen, Rich. It's all things hot. If you're
All
looking to bake anything outside, just open your door.
Yeah.
Because good Lord, it feels like it's the surface of the sun.
Fucking hot. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, it's hot. So
Yeah.
if you got a chance to get cool and wet and possibly intoxicated, to not feel as much heat, then have at it.
How
But
about it?
we're talking all things birds tonight because
The birds.
the birds. So
It's time.
yeah, and listen, it's off season, right? So it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama, and it's like regurgitated off-season drama because there's really legit nothing else to talk about. There's the Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni narrative. I can't make heads or tails of it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and a lot of it feels manufactured for the sake of conversation.
It's for clicks.
Yeah. Yep.
Clicks.
Yeah,
And
it is.
And honestly, if it's 94-1, WIP, fucking putting it out there, I don't fucking believe any of it because Elliott Shore Parks, is that ESP? Elliott Shore Parks? Is
Yeah.
that his
Yep.
little fucking gremlin of a man. If you can't even say as a man, that guy has no fucking balls. Yeah, I don't respect anything that fucking little troll says. And let's be real. They don't, like you said, not manufacturing bullshit storylines to give fucking talk points to their fucking studios. Like, loser mentality. That's what losers do. If you can't report on the good stuff, you got to find something bad because there's nothing going on because everything's pretty complacent, you know? Mandatory camps, you know, they're going to be starting.
Yeah.
Going on. So you want to manufacture some bullshit so you get some clicks and so people hate response back to you and to drum up shit, good for you. I think everything is easy peasy and looking good over there in Eagles world, especially between Jalen and Nick. I don't think there's really much that you can drum up and manufacture. We all know the problem last year was BJ. Everybody came out and said that the fucking offense looks 95% different. I mean, there's your sign. And all I see right now, Don, is good things ahead.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, all things considered, I think it's all things go for me. Joe, I thought you were in the Outer Banks. I'm sending you the link right now if you want to hop on. It's all things. I just assumed you were OBX. Yeah, Rich It's Rich's
Thanks.
birthday yesterday.
Yeah,
Happy
Joe, you got
birthday.
home now. See,
So,
Joe, you Friday night.
listen.
It's 8 o'clock. You could have just been quiet, Joe.
I should have just sent it to everybody like I always do. But, here's me running the ship right into the docks.
It's because you got a hernia done. Once you get that hernia,
It's also true. I'm working on getting that hernia fixed. Joe, the link is in your email if you want to hop on pseudo style. Just kind of.
Joe's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm in Outer Banks, just fucking with you." Like, God.
He goes, "Oh, good man, I got stuff going on."
Oh, what the hell, guys? I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, Joe running me through the ringer. Joe, way to keep it light. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Joe.
Keeping us on our toes from the keyboard. I love it.
That's funny, fucking Joe.
Oh God, yeah. I think for me, it's a lot to do about nothing. It's frustrating to feel like you're just consistently just manufacturing just dumb shit, and it's the kind of stuff that makes me turn the radio off. There's like a handful of like I love listening to Ruben Frank and Dave Zingaro because I feel like it's like a very right down the middle, just kind of here's what it is. But other than that, it's like I was scrolling through where was it? It was something on Fox Sports, and they were talking some like quarterback comparison things, and they're talking about Jalen, and I'm like, oh God, turn this off. It's just so bad, and it's just like it's to talk about it, just to talk about it, and it's not talking about it with any kind of substance. Because when you look at where this team is, and look at where the roster that they've built, considering Rich, and we can jump into all the contracts that are kind of being handed out now, right? Because the contracts that were handed out early, and we've talked about, Howie Roseman and how he's doing a good job at kind of being ahead of the curve.
Head of the curve.
You look at Jalen Hurts' contract now compared to where he was, where that contract is in comparison. When he signs that contract, he's the highest paid quarterback, and in a span of a couple months, he is now the 6th.
Look at his contract compared to Trevor Lawrence's contract.
Yo, Trevor Lawrence
got fucking paid.
Yeah. Okay, so $55 million a year, right? Tied with Joe Burrow for the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, or NFL. Yeah, right. I saw a side-by-side comparison of Trevor Lawrence and Blake Bortles. Same games, same franchise. Every column,
Blake Bortles,
but one. Blake Bortles is ahead at this stage of his career.
Yeah. Like, we looked it up, Don. We looked it up. Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones are the same player.
You're right. They are. They are the same guy.
We looked it up, and they just gave him $55 million a year. How fucking dumb is that?
Dak is that just out of pure
paid.
Desperation?
I hope the Cowboys pay Dak and then watch it all crumble, because that is hilarious. And if you notice, it's all the young quarterbacks who are getting locked up.
Well, and now talk about the next wave of guys, right? Dak Prescott, Tua, and Jordan Love are the 3 other guys that they're now talking about.
Yeah.
This just tells me how important that position is and how desperate franchises are to be able to get that guy at essentially at all costs.
Yeah. And look at the wide receiver ones who are getting paid. Backed up the Brinks truck to Justin Jefferson. And then you still have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb. You got a bunch of guys out there who need to get paid.
Yeah, and you talk about the guys in Dallas. Dallas is essentially, off the top of my head, they've got 3 guys at 3 key positions that all are going to want to get paid. when you talk about CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons will be an Eagle. I know it. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it all. It's the kind of thing where it's like you look at you're not going to be able to pay everybody. You're only going to be able to franchise. You can't franchise them all. So somebody's going to be left holding the bag, and Dak Prescott's going to get even if the Cowboys don't pay him.
Yeah, he's going to get paid.
He's going to get paid a ton of money by somebody.
I mean, you can just go down the line: Raiders, Broncos,
Seattle.
Seattle, the Jets. If this Aaron Rodgers fucking, they could try to figure out something with Daniel Jones and offload him. The Giants, like, it's just so funny, dude. It really is so funny. You're looking at the league and you're seeing all the magic that fucking Howie worked. And, AJ Brown's the number 1 paid wide receiver. We're like, what the fuck? But it's like, guys, chill. He knows what he's doing. And then look at the market explode after that.
Yeah.
He's like not he's number 2 or 3, right? Paid highest wide receiver.
I believe so.
And then Jamar Chase still needs to get paid. CeeDee Lamb still needs to get paid. Stephon Diggs probably has another contract coming up. Devontae Adams probably has another contract coming up.
Right.
So you're going to see these numbers get to like $40 million for these wide receiver ones, and it's going to be absolutely nuts.
All right. So Joe's son Lucas.
Oh.
Do we think that the loss of Kelsey will affect the run and the tush push?
I mean, it just affects the team's morale overall. I mean, you take a leader at the key position of playing center, and a guy who was a Pro Bowler for what, like 8 years in a row. Yeah. Like you take that away from any offense, it hurts. And I think just him not being around the team and on that offensive line I wouldn't even say anchor it, but he was an all-pro center. So he kind of did man his position and hold down that offensive line pretty well. I think it's always going to affect it in the beginning. You got a new guy going in there in Juergens, and things are going to be different. Things are going to be weird in the beginning. But Stoutland's just so good that he's going to coach those guys up, and they're going to be in sync. If they are not in sync by game 1, they'll be in sync by game 2.
I think the combination of Jeff Stoutland and then the leadership that's left in that room. I think Lane Johnson is probably going to step into that role in that room. But you also look at Jordan Mailata.
Yep.
You look at Landon Dickerson, right? You look at and you look at Cam Jurgens, right? Those are guys that have played together on that line for the last couple seasons together. You look at the leadership that is in that room, and then I think that you look at the skill level of those players, right? We've heard nothing but good things coming out of OTAs about Tyler Steen and where he's fitting into that role. It doesn't seem to be that there's any kind of question. And then you look at the guys that are kind of next in line, right? The Mekhi Bectons, who is three men of size. With the possibility of if things don't work out with Tyler Steen, that the possibility of sliding a guy of that stature into that guard spot also is very, very intriguing, even if it's just for that one play. Because it's the kind of thing now when you have what I'm going to quote the quad squad with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, when you combine that level of elite level talent behind that line, I think you're going to see you could see drop off because of how important that position is. Yeah. And because of how much I think we're going to gain a greater appreciation for Jason Kelce
Yes.
after he's left. When you see about the calls that he's making on the line, when you're talking about the leadership that he provides in the huddle, I think the fact that there are so many other guys and that unit is so cohesive that if you look at the group of players, you're really only talking about changing 3 positions.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about changing the guard spot, the center spot, and the center spot is being filled by a guy who used to play guard. And you're talking about the running back position with Saquon Barkley. For the most part, the rest of that offensive unit
is
the same. The other thing that I think factors into to maybe leveling the playing field a little bit is the idea that Kellen Moore is now going to run this offense. So it does kind of level the playing field for the learning curve of all of these guys learning this, what we know as a new offense.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
I like it. Lucas, any other questions? Fire away. You're in charge. You're driving this ship.
The defense rests.
Speaking of coordinators.
Yes.
Right. So you got Kellen Moore, you got Vic Fangio.
Yes.
Do you have more confidence in one or the other, or are you kind of equal on both?
Don, let's be real. I have all the confidence in the world in Kellen Moore. I mean, if he's any worse than last year, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I was through the roof with just hearing what Devontae's saying, Jalen's saying. It's just, God, man, it's so nice to hear just basically breaths of fresh air and things that I did not want. We're not going to see the wide receiver screen. We're not going to see pretty much any of like the dumb shit that was forced down our throat last year. So It's nice, and I feel like I have way more faith in Kellen Moore. Vic Fangio, big personality, veteran guy. It just, we'll see how they respond.
I like it because I'm leaning toward the part of me. I'm kind of equal on both because I think what you're getting from Vic Fangio is that stability of that veteran guy who's just been in the league a really long time, similar to when Andy Reid brought in Jim Johnson, and it brought in that that adult level voice in the room to kind of counterbalance what they didn't have last year. The ideas that Kellen Moore is bringing, though, also make me really excited when you combine the frequency of what they're going to incorporate in terms of the play calling in relationship to where they are offensively. You got a lot of new offensive weapons. You got a lot of exciting players. You've got situations where you're going to have guys that are going to be in motion. You're going to have guys that are going to be put in the best position to be available. I'm really excited about where this offense could be come September, because when they dial it in, they on paper look like they've got an opportunity to be a team that can put up 30 plus, 40 plus points with the offensive weapons. It's just going to be a matter of, what are they able to do on defense to be able to get them in a position to be successful, because you're looking at an opportunity to be in a lot of games with the offense that you have. Your offense is going to keep you in games a lot, to the point where you're going to be able to get a lot of offensive firepower, and you're going to be able to, it's going to be a matter of how many points can this defense hold. But I'm excited to see what that stability of Vic Fangio brings to that defense, because that, to me, they kind of fell off the table on both sides of the ball. And I really feel like you had two guys leading those groups, and everything we've heard coming out of the team in the offseason was like that there was just no leadership at all. And does that tell you anything, Rich, about Nick Sirianni?
Don, I would love to answer this, but can we answer this on the other side and go to a quick commercial?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll go to a quick commercial break.
Vonsey Brewing Company is a 20-barrel, 16,000 square foot microbrewery with a 2,500 square foot tasting room, including a spacious outside beer garden in Norristown, PA, in the heart of Montgomery County. The Vonsey family is part of the family that started C. Schmidt and Son Brewing in 1860. Stop in Wednesday through Sunday and taste a variety of draft and 16-ounce cans of originally brewed beer and tell them the Drunk on Broad crew sent you. Vonsey Brewing is located at 1210 Stenbridge Street, Suite 300 in Norristown. Cheers.
Team Clicks are the only glasses for real sports fans. With interchangeable arms, you can support all of your favorite teams, or even make and create custom options as well. These die-hard sports fans have realized that sports fans needed something other than face paint to show their love and passion for their teams. Go to teamclicks.com/DOB and show your love for your hometown team.
La Torrent's curated collection of men's and women's watches is a perfect investment that lasts for years to come and fits perfectly with your every outfit and style. Our range of classic watches aren't just a great perfect formal and casual accessory, but a time machine that takes you back to memories. Explore our collection of timeless watches that can reflect your taste, personality, and personal style. Our exclusive collection of carefully curated, affordable luxury watches is what you need to make a personalized style statement. You can take pride in your prized possession, handing it over to the next generations as your most loved asset that they can also own and display with the same pride. These high-quality pieces stand the test of time, giving exceptional value and return on your investment. Go to la-touraine.com and use code DOB at checkout and get 10% off.
If you're looking for unique sports apparel, check out Streaker Sports. They've dug deep into the archives and have brought back some incredible defunct team logos and have even created entire defunct league collections. They also have collections paying homage to sports culture, including the Miracle on Ice, Slap Shot, Caddyshack, the Mighty Ducks, and even have a license with Wiffle Ball and USA Hockey. Only for Drunk on Broad listeners, use code BROAD at checkout to get 10% off anything at streakersports.com. Again, that's 10% off anything at streakersports.com with discount code BROAD.
All right, we're back.
I didn't have sound for a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I just wanted to get set up downstairs. The dogs were going nuts, and I'm like,
Don't worry about it. No worries at all.
But
So-
Don, the question you posed, say it again, please.
So, in terms of what we saw in the second half of that season last year, and how you really what everything we've heard coming out of the offseason was that the lack of leadership on those two sides of the ball really contributed to the team struggling on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
you bring in new coordinators, but does that tell you anything about Nick Sirianni not being able to right the ship at all in the last, I don't know, what was that, 7-8 weeks?
so let's be all right. So here's what we all know. Okay, let's just put it out there on the tape. Nick Sirianni is Howie's puppet. He is the fall guy. No one expected him to get hired as the Eagles head coach. Nobody expected him to have success or to be able to lead a group of strong personalities. They get behind him, he loses them. They get behind him, he loses. he is not this enigmatic figure, right? He's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a polarizing guy. He is Howie's puppet, and let's be real. He dictates what Howie wants him to do. He will be the fall guy. It speaks nothing about Nick. It speaks more volumes about Howie, the ownership, and how they want to run things, because they're going to try to find a scapegoat. And I'm not saying that whatchamacallit, Brian Johnson or Salah, or not Salah, what the hell is that dude's name? Jesus Christ. Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
What was his name? Sean Desai.
Sean Desai.
Yeah, Desai. It's like, yeah, we had a right ship and get rid of them because they were terrible. But again, whose signings are they? How? Right. So does it speak volume about Nick? No, Nick's a yes man. We know who he is. It speaks volume to, you have to bring in these pro coordinators to not make the coach look good, but make the GM look good.
Right.
Howie needs to be the smartest man. And when you just go and decide, oh, hey, Nick, we're going to bring this guy in, we're going to bring this guy in, and then you're going to give a press conference saying you're going to let them coach. And then it's like, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm going to, oversee it all. What kind of head coach says that? What kind of head coach doesn't have his hand in every single pot? He's just there and oversee. So essentially, it is going to fall on Nick, because if he sees things that he doesn't like, this is going to show you if he's truly a good coach or not, or if he's allowed to make these decisions. But if this experiment and everything does fail, it's going to be Nick on the block, and then Howie will sign somebody else without a strong personality and somebody else who will not question him to do his bidding.
Yeah, and I think this season plays out one of two ways, right? If you do really well, then you have the opportunity to be able to get, that puts Kellen Moore in a really good light.
Yeah.
And you get the opportunity, and now he's got an opportunity to go get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Right. But if they do poorly,
stop turning the light off.
Right? If they do poorly,
turning the light on and off,
then you get the opportunity to be able to get your team. You get the opportunity to be able to get, your coach in a good spot. And I think either way, I feel like he's kind of in like a no-win position.
Yeah. I mean, that's
just kind of,
that's pretty much it. It's what happens if Nick sucks? Is Kellen Moore the guy who steps up just so Howie can be like, I brought him in, I told you so? Or is it Vic Fangio? Guys who we brought in. It's laughable for me that people think that Nick Sirianni is like our coach. Yes, on paper, he's our head coach, but we're from Philadelphia. We know who runs this town. What other organizations have Tuesday meetings with the owner, the GM, and the head coach?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very weird dynamic with Philadelphia coaches ever since Andy Reid left. And
true,
you've seen it with Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson stuck by his guys and was basically like, nah, dude, if you want him fired, you fire him. I'm not firing him. And then Howie's like, well, I'm going to fire you then.
Right.
And he's like, okay. And then I'll just go win a bunch of games down in Jacksonville. It doesn't bother me. Right. What did we thought, oh man, Doug, the Super Bowl was it. Doug can coach. I've yet to see a moment in my mind that I can go, oh shit, Nick Sirianni, he outcoached him. I don't say that on Sunday. That's not one thought that ever comes to my head saying,
right,
oh man, Nick Sirianni outcoached Kyle Shanahan or Mike McCarthy. It's half the time it's like, damn, the Eagles got outcoached. What the fuck? That defense was terrible. Where's Nick Sirianni stepping in and saying something? You're the head coach. Why aren't you making adjustments? It's those are the thoughts that go in my mind. I don't think I've said, Don, and I don't know if you can say this too. When was the last time you said Nick Sirianni outcoached someone?
It's not something I could pull off the top of my head, and that says something.
Exactly. I'm just not in the belief of Nick Sirianni is a good head coach. Nick Sirianni is a good fall guy for Howie. The Eagles need a good head coach. That's what the Eagles need. They need some guy who's young and ambitious and has some sort of pedigree. Like, what did Nick Sirianni have before coming to the Eagles? What was his coaching pedigree? Coaching D3 college or playing D3 college, and then the Colts for a little bit, being whatever.
The Chargers and the Colts. Like, he had coordinator experience, but nothing crazy.
No, and he wasn't even like on anybody's radar on any other teams. So that's the thing that you have to like keep reminding yourself. Howie's smartest guy mentality. I found this guy. He's young. If he fails, don't matter. He'll get a coordinator job. And I won't look bad for it because I drafted all this talent. Like, it's so strange. It's just not like conversations that we have. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of those things where it's like you don't realize what they got until you look at this opportunity to be able to get guys in position to be able to play. It's wild. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with this squad, because this squad is going to be a lot of talent on offense. There's a lot of guys on defense that have things to prove. When you look at their roster, when you look at the guys that are going to be part of this depth chart for the Birds, it's going to look really different and really young. When you look across the D line, when you look at the idea of replacing Fletcher Cox, I really am excited to see what kind of end position you can get from, and the production that you can get from Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. We saw some of the off-season stuff from when he's slimming out.
He looks good.
He looks good, right? And Jalen Carter, right, is in this 3-4 is going to play on the edge, right, which is also putting him in a position to get a head start, and not have to encounter the D tackle right away. And then you're going to surround him with a lot of speed and a lot of talent, right? You're going to look at Bryce Huff and Nakobe Dean, Devin White, Milton Williams, to see how, I think the thing that's most impressive to me on defense is how they were able to turn that secondary over so young, so athletic, so quick, to the point now where it wouldn't surprise me if James Bradbury's on his way out. It wouldn't surprise me if you figure out ways to get these young playmakers on the field as soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty crazy that they're able to bring in Dejan and Mitchell. And it's just going to be, dude, it's just going to be so good. That's why I'm so excited, because we get to see Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepherd 2.0, like stepping in, coming in, and just a young defense, a young core nucleus. I have high hopes, and I hope Vic Fangio does this right. That's all.
Yeah, listen. Another question from Joe's son. Do we think that if we still had prime Carson Wentz, we would have had a Super Bowl run instead of the Chiefs, especially with all these new guys? Listen, if there was never a Carson Wentz drop off, the athletic ability was there. Everything that was wrong with Carson Wentz was in his head. He's got the athletic talent. He's got the arm. He's got the physical stature, and you saw it during that Super Bowl run that season. You saw all of that on display. But everything after that season was just garbage. It was, and once that stuff is in your head, that's stuff that you cannot correct. That's stuff that you've seen him now go, to a couple. He's now on his third team in 4 years. He goes from Philly to Indy to DC, and now listen. If there's ever an opportunity for him to kind of get the time and space to be able to figure out and turn it around, having Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is not a bad landing spot to try to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Birds.
I have a hard time believing that we would have even gotten to that point. It's just Carson Wentz's true colors came out when he got hurt, and Nick Foles crushing him and just killing his spirits for season. And it was just so crazy to see that drop off, especially with the talent. But we needed everything to happen to get to where we are. And I think if we still had Carson, I don't think we would be where we were. And yeah, it would be a very different outcome we'd be talking about right now. But I like how things are. I really, really love this team. I just wish Jason Kelce was back. So I wouldn't change it because I really do like the young pieces and the young nucleus that we have. So I'm keeping it.
I love it. Rich, I got some stats I want to run by you before I discuss and share our finalized new summer project.
All right,
Rich. The last time I have on a second screen, the last time that every team in the NFL was shut out.
Okay.
How long ago do you think it was the last time the Birds got shut out in a game? What year?
2015.
Actually, 2017.
Wow.
You were pretty close.
Wow.
2017. Yeah, so they have gone
Super Bowl. Let's go.
Right. They since 2017 they have that was the last game that they were shut out.
Holy shit.
Which is kind of wild. There were last year 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 6 teams that got shut out. The team with the longest running streak of not being shut out goes all the way back to 2002.
The Ravens.
Yes. You're on fire. Look at you.
Justin Tucker, man.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker for a time.
The last time that they were shut out was in the fall of 2002, which I thought was kind of wild.
Well, and they had good defenses. They would create
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it definitely adds up for the Ravens. I just immediately when you said that back in 2002, I'm like, I know he wasn't drafted in 2002, but it has to be Justin Tucker because that dude had a field goal, I think, like in every game.
Yeah, it is kind of wild. And above them is the Steelers in 2006.
Wow.
And here's the one that surprised me. Into the third team on this list is the Vikings. The last time that the Vikings were shut out was in 2007.
Holy shit.
Which I was not expecting that. That and the Browns. Last time the Browns got shut out was 2014. They've gone 10 years without being shut out.
Wow.
Which is...
I wouldn't think that. Because how bad the Browns were for so long. It's like, ugh.
Right?
Not one I would have guessed.
All right, I got another set of stats for you. Okay, I've got the last... Every team, the last time they had a 1,500-yard rusher. Do you know, Rich, that there is one team in the NFL that has never had a guy rush for 1,500 yards in a season?
There's one team?
One team who's never had a 1,500-yard rusher.
The Patriots.
No.
The Bills.
No, but they're second to last.
Ah, let me think. Don. Let me think.
Because there's some cool names on this list.
Oh, man. The Bears?
No. No, Walter Payton.
Wait. No, you said, I'm sorry. I thought you said in the past 15 years. I'm sorry.
No, so they've never had this team has never had a 1,500 yard rusher in a season.
Dude, I have no idea. That's fucking crazy.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals have never had a guy rush for 1,500 yards.
Not even
Now, the team that you mentioned, the Bills have gone the longest without having a 15-yard rusher. The last time they had a 1,500-yard rusher was in 1976. Can you guess the player?
In 1976?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no.
It's the Juice.
OJ. Oh, God.
The Juice in 1976.
R.I.P. dog. R.I.P. Holy
right?
crap. I forgot. Damn.
Yeah, and then the next guy was Otis Anderson for the Cardinals in 1979.
The Cardinals were on that list too?
The Cardinals were on that list. They've had a 1,500-yard rush. Otis Anderson rushed for over 1,500 yards in 1979.
All right.
I'm gonna share the screen with you.
1970.
So
that was a long time. Now I'm just like thinking like years. Now we're going back.
Right, that's a long time ago, right?
Damn.
But when I saw this was actually really cool. There's a lot of cool names on here that I didn't. Let's get rid of the.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Oh wow. Yeah, I figured Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, yep, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, yeah, Martin. Because I wasn't even going with any of these. Yeah, Michael Turner, Jesus Christ, Tiki.
Right, you got Alfred Morris.
Wow.
Yeah, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Curtis Martin, baby.
Right, remember Arian Foster? The run that he had with the Texans was kind of wild when he was. D'Angelo Williams in 2008.
Ahmad Green. Dude, tell me how Dylan could do it for the Patriots, but not the Bengals.
Right.
That's why I was like, my man Corey Dillon, and I'm like, oh shit, he's on the list for.
Right here, and here's a blast from the past. Clinton Portis. Now you might see the Ravens. You might see the Ravens jump up to the top of this list when they add Derrick Henry. Just you're probably gonna get that, but Ricky Williams in 2002, Barry Sanders in 97, Jerome Bettis in 97.
James Wilder, I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, but the Bengals are the only team that has never had a 1,500-yard rusher.
I just can't believe, like, almost 40 years for some of these teams. Holy shit.
Yeah.
1988 for Tampa Bay is just insane. Walter Payton was 85.
Yeah. So the Bills in 1976, the Cardinals in 79, the Bucks in 1984, and the Bears in 85. The Bears have not had a 1,500-yard rusher since Walter Payton.
That's
wild stuff.
That is mind-blowing.
It's wild stuff, right? Rich, are you ready to see the debut of our summer bracket project?
Yes.
All right. So last year we crowned the best time to have a beer bracket.
Yeah, that was a good one. What one? Vacation, right?
Let me pull it up.
I believe it was vacation beer.
Just to review here, just for posterity here, we got the. Let's see if I can find it here. I can't find it. I'll go find it at some point. But this summer's our project. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We have created a bracket of Philadelphia sports team themed booze bracket.
Ooh.
So we've got a Phillies bracket. We've got 8 Phillies themed beers. We've got a Flyers themed beer bracket. We got an Eagles themed beer bracket. And we got a Sixers themed beer bracket.
Oh, man.
So we're gonna we'll go round by round, right? And then we'll have each team we'll have one beverage come out of each bracket. Now, some of these this took a little bit of digging. Some of these were like single. So some of them are not in use right now. Some of them were in use. They were like single brew, single selects.
I had that.
But this was it was fun to kind of go through and see. And I'll tell you what, Rich, shout out to Conshohocken Brewery. You're not a sponsor. You can be if you would like to. We would love to have you on here. But the idea on here that you have, they have a solid theme of Philadelphia sports themed beers. And I'm sure that probably has something to do with Glenn Macnow and his connection to the Philadelphia sports theme. But we've got some really cool beers in here. So in the Phillies bracket, now they're not ranked in order from 1 to 8. It was literally just me trying to find them, right? So there were a lot of Phillies themed beers, right? But you've got Ring the Bell and you've got Fransky in LA from Conshohocken Brewing.
Yes.
You've got the Philly Standard, which is a Yards brewery. You've got the Slugger from Sly Fox. You've got Funkadelphia from Funk Brewing. You've got High Hopes from the Four Fingers Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Harper's Hazy from Sterling Pig. And you've got the Philly Phantasmic from Second Sin. So those are the beers that are in the Phillies themed bracket.
You got some good beers in there. That Harper's Hazy, that Slugger. Ooh, Ring the Bell. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be a tough one to get out of right now. The Flyers, you've got the Gritty Gruel. There's a lot of grit. There were a handful of gritty themed beers. So you've got the Gritty Gruel and you've got the Nightmare Fuel, which are both gritty themed beers. The Gritty Gruel is the ARS Brewery, and the Nightmare Fuel is a Broken Goblet Brewery. You've got the Big Hazy.
That's a good one from Yards.
It's a good one from Yards. From Conshohocken Brewery again, you got the Jonesy's Hockey Lager. Stickman Brews also has a gritty themed beer. It's called Eat Your Landlord. I don't know what that means or how it's connected to gritty, but that's what it's called. And it's got a picture of gritty on the front of the can.
Okay.
Now some old ones. The Ghost Bear, which was an old Conchi brewery. Now this one's my favorite. It's a Notting Head brewery. It's called Crosby's Tears. That was out of all of them, that was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to the Eagles bracket. You've got the South Philly Special from ARS Brewery. You've got the Broken Goblet. No One Likes Us. We Don't Care. Conchi Brewery. You got the Mike and Merrill. Evil Genius. You got Fly Like an Eagle. One of my favorites from Free Will. You've got Dreams and Nightmares. From Imprint Brewery, you've got the Go Birds Smoochie.
Yeah, the Smoochie.
From Larimer Brewery, you've got the Bird Gang. And then the McCall Collective Brewing, you got For the Birds.
Don, I love you, brother. You forgot very important game day beer that is made.
What do you got?
Eagles fans. Dallas Sucks, man, by Weyerbacher.
Oh, hold on. All right, let's take one out then.
I say Conshohocken because they're dominating this category with beers. Like overall the bracket.
Okay.
We definitely need Dallas Sucks because I mean that's something everybody can get around.
Oh, listen.
Shout
All
out
right. So on the fly,
Ooh,
Dallas.
hold on. Don, hold on.
What do you got? What do you got?
Let's do why don't we do a play-in game?
Oh,
Why don't we do a play-in game?
we can do a playing game.
You know, we'll do,
Here we go.
Mike and
Let's
Murph
add it in.
Sucks. Winner makes it into the bracket.
I like that.
Winner makes it in. NBA or NCAA does it. Let us do it. That'll be our
Nice.
one in game, and then we'll throw the bracket out.
I like it. And who's the brewery?
Weyerbacher.
Weyerbacher. Okay. All right. So I will tell you, out of all of these, the Sixers one was the most difficult to find. And I had to go to wines because I was having trouble finding Sixers themed beers. So you've got Evil Genius with a Trust the Process. You've got Misconduct Tavern with Conshohocken Brewery. It was a collaboration. It's called the Emperor's New Jump Shot, which is an Embiid themed beer. You've got Misconduct and Yards with The Answer. You've got Our Town Brewery with the Tailgate Playlist. You've got Conchi with the Zooisms, which is a really cool can because it's got on the label of the can has all of his catchphrases, which is really cool thing. Now here's Hinky Sweet Revenge from Misconduct as well. Now here's where I had to go a little off the beaten path here. Coming in, and this will absolutely be the lowest seed, is the James Harden wine collection.
That is going
and then the
trust the process.
the Chad's Ford Winery, the Banner Series wine collection, which is a Sixers themed wine collection. So, we had for whatever reason, I had to go a little off the beaten track. Rich,
yes.
Any of those? Have you had any? Have you seen any? Do you have a favorite out of that group?
So one of my favorite Eagles themed beers was because they're not around anymore, was Flying Fish. They had Bird's Juice and 6% tropical IPA. It was very good. I've had pretty much most of the baseball games. You can find them at the park. Trust the Process was a one-off. Oh my God, years ago. And I remember it came out. It was like $50 a 4-pack, and it was a pineapple IPA. So good. Had Embiid on the front. So that's
another really cool can too.
Awesome can. The hockey ones. I think I had the hazy IPA, and there's like a hazy, and then I think there's like a double hazy. So there's like different lines to that. And I had some of those, but yeah, I mean the smoothie. I have not had to go bird smoothie, but I've had smoothies from Imprint, and they're all freaking delicious. That's a fun category. That is a really fun summer bracket. And
this should be good to play around with, and to just kind of a fun kind of summer way to interact with everybody. Have we had Adams in the chat? Adam, where you been, brother? Have we had the garage? Have you had the Kelsey's Garage beer yet? I have not.
No, I think it's just like a regular light beer. It's like just a 4% like light Pilsner garage beer. I didn't look it up, but I figured that's what it would be. Being those guys, they don't look like a IPA kind of guys. They look like pound of 30 kind of guys.
I was gonna say, keep that to me. That seems like it's keep it pretty basic.
Yeah. So I did not have not.
Yeah, no. Like, listen, out of the group, the ring the bell is always a good one that I enjoy.
Yeah.
It's a pretty standard, consistent. It's pretty good. I I do like the Conchi. The Merrill and Mike one is a really good beer. I like that. I'm not a huge fan of IPAs, but it's one that I do enjoy.
Okay.
The Zooisms is another really good one. But the Jonesy's Lager is also really good.
Yeah.
This is not an advertisement for Conshohocken Brewing, but I did just mention 4 of them.
We did tell you that it's really good. And
yes, it is really good.
Over in Russia, who are in our demographics for our podcast, they probably might invest, Conchi. Buy some of your beer. Get in touch with us.
Yeah, so what we'll do is I'll put out a couple of polls.
Yeah.
Over the next couple of weeks, we'll try to get this down to we'll get it from 8 to 4 to 2 to the championship, and we'll crown the Philly sports themed booze bracket.
Heck yeah. That's gonna be fun.
So yeah, so it should be fun, and it should be fun. It should be something that we can kind of periodically go back to during the show and kind of talk about. But Rich, final thoughts on the way out the door.
Oh man, final thoughts. Well, yesterday I turned 35, and it was weird hitting that age because I'm like, I still feel like I still act like I'm 12, and I don't feel like I'm in my 30s, and like time flies. Always growing up, working hard, all the goofy shit. But there's important things that we have to remember, and one of them is just pretty much be kind to everyone. Treat others how you want to be treated. If you can reflect upon, it was a rough one. It was my first birthday without my mom, so it was like super sad. Didn't like when anybody sing to me, anything like that. But at work they bought me a fucking tiramisu that was bigger than my head, and we had pizza, and everybody gave me a hug and we're like, happy birthday. And it's like, you treat others how you want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
If I didn't treat them well or invest a little bit of my time into their lives, my coworkers wouldn't respond that way. My mother-in-law made me a cake from scratch with Ollie, and we had pizza. And first thing she was like before even my dad asked, I want you to come over and we're going to have this for your birthday. Is that cool? And it's like, thanks. And it's like, You treat others with respect. You treat others how you want to be treated, and it's reciprocated. So just we stress it a lot of be a good person, but you really have to. It shouldn't be a decision whether you want to be like nice to somebody or anything like that. It should just be like, we don't get enough of that. I apologized yesterday to a woman who was like 15 feet into the parking lot at Wawa, and I was holding the door, and I looked up and she was walking across the parking lot, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't hold the door. It's like you apologize for stupid shit because you feel bad, because I'm like, I should have been nice and held that door, because you want to treat others how you're treated. And one of my patients said to me, and he's like, you do a really good job, you're really sweet, you're really kind, like, I'm a miserable old fuck. That's basically what he said. And I said, you know what? Well, one day when I'm a miserable old fuck, I hope someone takes as good a care as me as I did you. I'm like, because we're all going to be miserable old fucks one day. So, but you treat others how you want to be treated. You be kind, and good things will happen all around.
I can only sit here and continue to kind of echo those thoughts. It's been it's been a funky start for the summer for me, for a number of things. I've you mentioned it, Rich, kind of going to have this will be the first time that I'm having any kind of surgery, and listen, thankfully for me and for my family, it's not major surgery, right? It is surgery, right? But it still kind of freaked me out a little bit. But it does give you a moment to pause and reflect and look around, and you look at how much support that you're getting and who you're getting that support from, and you look at the things that you're investing in when you invest in the people around you, like you're saying, that, it really does kind of come to light in those moments when, because then I started to really struggle mentally, right? Then the mental hurdles start to fall, and then you really start to struggle with, the things that are just kind of part of daily life. And then it takes a minute for you to kind of pause and reflect and be like, wait, no, there's a lot of good stuff going on right now. There's a lot of good things that are happening. And the summers, feel very fortunate, very thankful that I'm in a position, in a job where I do have the opportunity to have this time, and be able to be spending quality time with our families. But it really is, the people that are in your life are an investment, and you invest your time and your energy and your effort to, just to be a good person. And sometimes, you're imparting those lessons on your kids. Sometimes those lessons are being imparted on you from your kids. And I think that's the one thing that I would just stress is like, don't ever be afraid to learn from anybody. Don't ever be afraid to be able to get those opportunities, to get those lessons from your kids, from your wife, from your spouse, your girlfriend, whoever, because you don't ever know when those opportunities to get better and to be a better person. So yeah, it's this summer, we'll be on the fast track to trying to just continue to just be better people. And that's just, Adam, thank you. I appreciate it. Thankfully, Adam, it's a hernia surgery. So it's outpatient. I'll be up and walking around later that day. So, fingers crossed it all goes as well as, and as smoothly as they think. And, thankfully as I was joking with Rich, I got the summer off because, for the 30 days after surgery, I can't lift anything more than 10 pounds. So, Kip's going to get his beach bod workout in because he's going to be, pulling the beach cart and carrying the luggage and, and really, just, thankfully that it's something that's just kind of, I won't say normal because having like normal, it's still surgery. But it's a pretty common one that they feel very confident that is going to be something that I'll be able to have this and just be kind of done with it. So,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So listen, you catch us, Mark and I are going to be on tomorrow morning talking a little Flyers, a little Sixers. But you know where to find us. Rich, take us home.
Well, lesson learned from this is, remember, kids, lift with your legs, not your back. Big lesson learned. Don was lifting up a small elephant that was hit by a car in Northeast Doylestown. And, he got a hernia. He's a hero.
Listen, Rich, this is what happens when you get to be 175 years old.
Well, Philly, you stuck around, you fucked around, you found out. I'm Rich. That's Don. We are Drunk on Broad. We will see you next time. Peace, Philly.
Later, skaters.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.